Well, I'm about to ask you to do something really big to serve the next generation. I'm about to ask you to do something really big that can impact Live Oak. Over the last several years, over the last 3.5 years, we've experienced 80% growth. There's less and less chairs available on a Sunday morning. And we can't see it in here, but there's less and less space available for kids ministry. Starting in 2014, 2015, we grew 24%, then 16%, then 18%, currently at a rate of 9% since August of 2015. We've experienced 80% growth in 3.5 years. And that's a great thing happening. A lot of people are showing up and getting connected to Christ in community, and it's not how many people we gather in this room or gather overall that matters. It's what we do with those lives that deeply matters. But we're running out of space. And I'm not asking you to write a check, although if you did that, it would solve a lot of problems really quickly. But that's currently not what I'm asking you to do, and especially if you wrote one of those novelty-sized checks like they give out at golf tournaments. That'd go a long way, but that's not what I'm going to ask you to do. I really want to ask every one of you to serve in the next generation, if you're not currently doing it, to do it in some way. And the thing about that is it's challenging to think about doing that for a long period of time. So I would just want to ask you to consider doing it for 4 weeks. See, we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of having an Easter Sunday, we're not going to have Easter Sunday this year. Well, we are. But it's not Easter Sunday, it's an Easter series. On Easter Sunday, we never have room. If we just do services the way we normally do it, we have to make more room. So what we're going to do for 4 weeks is make more room. We're going to do 3 services for 4 weeks and do an Easter series. And that's from Easter Sunday, April 21st, through Mother's Day, May 12th. 4 Sundays with 3 services. We want to ask you to invite, to be intentional about which services you attend. But we're going to need some people to serve, especially small group leaders and small group leader helpers and assistants in kids ministry. And we're going to talk about in that series, starting on Easter Sunday for 4 weeks, about the idea of having a living hope. That Jesus is our living hope. So what does that mean? What makes a difference of how we live every day with hope? And we live in a world that can at times feel hopeless. So we want to talk about the practical aspect of hope over those 4 weeks. And we want to create some space, and we want to learn all we can over that 4-week period to figure out what do we do next to make room for more. Because the reality is, if you start running out of room like this, people stop inviting, or people walk up and go, oh, there's not enough room for me or my kids, and they walk away. And as long as they walk somewhere else where they can be connected, I'm fine with that. There's lots of great churches in Lubbock. But we have a responsibility to what God's given us here at these facilities, to leverage every square foot to impact the next generation, to impact our friends that don't know Jesus, and to try and bring hope into a world that's hopeless. So what I ask you to do is, we've got about 87 days until that happens. I can't remember if I looked it up today. I'm very aware of how many days we have till Easter Sunday. It's just the life of a pastor, I guess. But on the Live Oak app, you could go to a section. If you pull it up, the Live Oak app, there's a little thing down in the bottom right corner that says serve, or in the bottom left corner it says sign up. And you go and you click on immediate needs. Or if you go to the website and you click on up there where it says sign up and events, you click on that and you click on immediate needs, it eventually will take you to a form that's like this. And there's some current needs on there. And some of the ones at the top are next gen serving opportunities. One of them is preparing breakfast team for kids ministry. That's not very relational, but it's impactful on those who serve. Sometimes it's being a sub. I can't serve every Sunday, but maybe there's some I could be a small group leader. But that top box says I can help with kids ministry during the Easter series, and there's the 4 Sundays. You're not committing to all 4. You're not even saying you're actually going to do it. But you said, hey, maybe there's a place where I could connect and help, because for 4 weeks, we need to have a kind of an all-hands-on-deck mentality. And we're going to learn all we can from it, and we're going to leverage every square foot we have as being as good a steward as we can, to make as much space as we can, to connect as many people as we can, and impact the next generation however we can. And to do that, we're going to need some of you to help, and you're currently not serving with kids ministry, that'll be our most pressing need for those 4 weeks. And even if you just 2 of the 4 or 3 of the 4 with kids ministry, and hopefully this is reassuring if you have kids, we take some time to onboard people in the right way. We don't just say, hey, you're willing, you got a pulse, you're good to go. We prepare people, and we'll prepare you, but we need your help. So if you could, even today before you left, if you could just click check, one of the things that we'll do is help our kids ministry staff, because right now their heads are spinning trying to think, how do we do this for 4 weeks? It's hard enough to think about doing it for Easter Sunday, let alone an Easter series. But I believe this is our next step we need to take as a church, and I'm asking for your help in doing that. And again, you think, I can't serve at the time. Well, if you have a novelty-sized check, that would solve a lot of problems. Here's the bottom line, isn't just about those 4 weeks. But we'd like you to do that. Please do that. The bottom line is the next generation. We're only one generation away from a movement that God's been doing to forget. That one generation would come along and go, I don't know anything about that. Or I know about it, but I've never experienced it personally, because the people who had never took what God had invested in them and invested it in me. Let's not be that generation, at least not us. What's one practical way you could do something to know and invest in the next generation this week? And what's one thing that you might be able to do by serving here at Live Oak to help us as we kind of enter into this experiment to figure out what's next for us as a church as we do this for 4 weeks and try and leverage that and that message of hope so strategically over that 4-week period, which is the largest attended 4 weeks of the year at Live Oak. Let's make room and pray that God would do something in those lives, and let's pray for the next generation. Actually, let's stand and do that now.